The Dakota V8 is certainly Dodge's attempt to marry the nimble handling of its midsize pickup to the torque and cargo capacity of a full-size hauler. This gives the Dakota's predominantly leisure-oriented male buyers a third engine choice beyond the 4- and 6-cylinder units offered in previous years. Since most Dakota owners don't use the truck for work, we didn't either. Instead, we helped our friend Jack move his vintage Triumph motorcycle, a more representative test of the Dakota V8's abilities. If you're thinking that this Dakota doesn't look like the long-term Dakota that we featured in 1989, you're right. The nose has been smoothed out with a sporty new grille, bumper, and headlights replacing last year's more conservative front end. The tail retains last year's styling and is available with either a 6.5 or 8-foot bed. Our LE grade 2-wheel drive club cab model came with the shorter of the two beds. A 4-wheel drive club cab is new this year. Our test Dakota will carry 2,000 pounds of cargo and tow 5,900 pounds. With the V8 putting out 250 pound-feet of torque, the 500-pound Triumph had no negative effect on the truck's performance. Owners will have no trouble hauling small recreational vehicles such as dirt bikes or ATVs in the Dakota V8. But home improvement-oriented buyers are cautioned that the Dakota's bed is too short and narrow to carry a regular sheet of plywood laying down flat.
Okay, Dave.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be seeing you, Dave.
The interior of our LE grade club cab is quite plush, appropriate considering its primary recreational uses. The dash design is clean and car-like, as are the clear, comprehensive gauges. The club cab's rear cabin has a folding bench seat, but typical of its type, it's too small for anyone but children. It is perfect for grocery bags, and under the seat are two handy storage compartments. The LE's front seats are cloth-covered buckets. They offer thick padding and plenty of support. Lumbar support is adjustable, but the position of the lever puts it in just the right place to catch the seatbelt when you're trying to buckle up. A tilt wheel is optional, as are power locks, windows, and mirrors. Interior storage is well thought out with a handy cup holder and a large glove box. Heat controls are operated by Chrysler's standard switch cluster. It's clean and well marked. The same goes for the optional cassette stereo, though we would prefer if it were set higher in the dash. Adding the 318 V8, or 5.2 liter for you modern folks, means that the Dakota now has 165 horses available. They're fed to the rear wheels through a 4-speed overdrive automatic transmission. Overdrive gear is engaged by a separate dash-mounted control. Acceleration from a standing start is brisk, with most of the engine's power concentrated down low. For those of you who insist on numbers, that means 0 to 60 in 10.1 seconds, and quarter-mile runs of 17.7 seconds at 78 miles per hour. Highway ride isn't as harsh as that of some trucks, once again reflecting the Dakota's leisure orientation. Gas mileage is EPA rated at 14 city, 19 highway. We got 18 miles per gallon. Unfortunately, since the fuel-injected V8 works best in the low ranges, there's not a lot of power left for passing. More top end is definitely called for. On twisty roads, the Dakota handles more like a large car than a truck. It plows into a corner, but doesn't roll or wander through a curve like many trucks will. The optional power steering requires little effort on the part of the driver, but lacks feel and reacts slowly to inputs. The Dakota's brakes are disc up front and drums with anti-lock in the rear. However, our truck frequently locked up its front brakes during hard stops. Despite this, it still managed to turn in a good average of 130 feet from 60. Stability is excellent. If you want to drive a V8 Dakota like ours home, then here are the prices. The base price is $11,241. Add LE trim, the club cab, and a pile of options, and the price jumps to $18,852. That's not cheap, but the Dakota does offer a lot to like, starting with its smooth new V8 engine. This gives more hauling power than the average Dakota buyer is likely to need. We also like its off-the-line acceleration, car-like handling, comfortable interior, and smoother styling. We're not pleased with its lack of passing power, numb steering feel, and poorly located lumbar lever. While we wouldn't necessarily pick the Dakota V8 as our #1 work vehicle, it is a superior recreational truck. Dodge has succeeded in adding plenty of big truck grunt without spoiling the handling that first made the midsize Dakota appealing to so many buyers. And just as the V8 adds to its abilities, it should also bring in a host of new fans.